that as a model. And if I
outlining the next part very quickly. I'm new to machining within the last year and a half. Without a knowledge-based machine, bringing 1,000 parts in-house is nearly impossible.
A lot of the reasons we make our own parts is because we feel like we can't find quality, and for us, this is a to help us out. I think we're actually building a lot of cool stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Studies such as thermal, you can do the fatigue study, you can do the drop test, non-linear, etc. So there is a whole lot of features in SolidWorks simulation. We also have SolidWorks flow simulation. SolidWorks flow simulation is a computational fluid dynamics tool. So if you want to check the flow of fluid through your components, or if you want to check the pressure drop or the heat flow, you can easily do that with SolidWorks flow simulation. So in this session I'll take you through all the new features which have been involved in SolidWorks simulation and flow simulation. So starting with the SolidWorks simulation, first of all, we have topology study, we have stress similarity detection, we can import directly the study features from the parts, we have updated pin connectors and email notification. So let us have a look one by one what these features mean. So first is the topology study. Again, this topology study, as previously we have seen a demo of this. It is a very new product in SolidWorks simulation. It is powered by Similia, which is again a Dassault Systems product dedicated for simulation. Here you can optimize your shape for getting a better design. Next thing is stress similarity detection. In 2017, we launched a brilliant feature known as hotspot diagnostic. So anyone of FEA people over here, anyone who does SolidWorks simulation or any kind of simulation? Okay. So those people who are involved in finite element analysis know the term as stress singularity. It is a FEA concept and it is present in almost all the models over here. With the hotspot analysis, we can find out the areas which have the stress singularity. But in 2018, we have stepped up and now we can confirm the stress singularity directly. So let's quickly have a look at how we can do this. Now I have this TV antenna assembly over here. I'll just select this component and open it. This antenna arm bracket. So I have a study over here. I can go to the hotspot diagnostic. So hotspot diagnostic will show you the areas where the stress. In 2018, you can go ahead one step and you can confirm the stress singularity directly inside the SolidWorks. So as you can see that it has detected stress singularity. Stress singularity means that whenever you reduce the mesh size, your stress will keep on increasing. So that is a divergence. As you can see that the plot shows such kind of a divergence. So you can now confirm the stress singularity directly inside the same window. So let me just isolate the stress singularity areas. As you can see that the sharp corners with no fillets, the stress singularity is over there. So I can go ahead and create fillets and improve the life of the model as well. So the next feature is import study feature. Now you can import the study features directly from the part and assembly level. Let me just show you what it means. So if I go to this TV antenna assembly over here, I already have a study. Now this whole assembly requires certain fixtures or boundary conditions. Now this part over here which we saw earlier already contains such fixtures or boundary conditions. I can now go ahead into the I can go ahead and import study features directly from the part or sub-assembly level. So this saves you a lot of time for defining the boundary conditions again and again. So what can I import? I can import all type of materials. I can import the connectors and contacts. I can import the fixtures, the loads and the mesh as well. So this is a huge time saver for those people who are doing the assembly at the part and the assembly level as well. Now let me just show show you one excellent feature which we have in SolidWorks 2018. Some studies which are complex may take more time to run. So we don't know exactly when the study will get completed. So instead of waiting for the assembly to get over, for the study to get over, what we can do is we can go to the property and we can define the email notification over here. So whenever your study gets completed, you have the result, it will notify you with an email saying that so-and-so study has been completed. So you don't need to sit on in front of the system waiting for the study to get over. You can quickly get the email notification directly. Also, we have connectors. Connectors are a great way to define certain objects such as bolts, pins, springs, etc. So I can define up to 10 faces with the pin connector, enhanced pin connector as well. Previously it was just limited to the 2 faces. So this is the email notification. You can set it from the system option or from the study properties. So with the new enhancement in SolidWorks simulation, you can even answer even more what if questions, and you can enhance your productivity as well. Now let's move into the second part, that is SolidWorks flow simulation. SolidWorks flow simulation has a new color bar options where you can align your color bar vertically or horizontally. From the component explorer, you can directly define the material from the tables. We have the free surface tool, we'll see about it in the next slide. You can now save all your boundary conditions in a template and use it again and again if you want. You can now predict the noise directly inside SolidWorks flow simulation, the noise which is generated by the flow of the fluid. So let me just go to this first one. We have the free surface flow. What exactly is a free surface flow is, it lets you simulate flow with a freely moving interface between 2 immiscible fluids. You can use the volume of fluid method for tracking and locating the free surface. There are certain limitations such as the rotation, porous media or fans are not allowed. So this can help you see more clearly what it means. So you can see that the fluid is filling all those containers, and with the help of this one, you can, if you have certain problems like this, you can easily simulate with this new tool. Next is the noise prediction. So noise prediction is calculated by the tried and tested formula of Proudman. So Proudman formula lets you calculate the noise. These are some of the source and the noise. So you can see that the jet engine makes 160 decibel of noise. What output we get from SolidWorks flow simulation is acoustic power and acoustic power level. So you can easily calculate the noise in the decibels over here. So with SolidWorks simulation and flow simulation, you can easily enhance your productivity and you can fuel innovation in your day-to-day design activities. So that's it from SolidWorks simulation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, I was just wondering who would like to join in for a cup of coffee or tea. What do you like? Who all like coffee? Please put your hands up. Who all like tea? Chai? Everybody loves chai. Okay, so we really want that you all remember us. This is again a reminder for everyone that please make sure that you all keep your references handy. So whenever there is a break, you all can just rush to the community booth and get this for yourself. How does this look? Nice? It's nice, right? Okay. And we would like to give a special thanks to Mr. Suresh Surarkar for giving us many references at the community booth. So let's give a huge round of applause to him. Let's thank him. Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. Okay, well, with this now, I would like to introduce you all to the next session, which will be conducted by Mr. JJ. So, are we all ready for that? There he is!
Okay, this is just off track. I'm trying to give you a little information which we thought we should share this time. There is a little background to this. This was the brainchild of the founder of Beacon. He founded this company about 20 years back. Okay, and felt that everything that we've gone through in the beginnings right till date is something relevant for each and every one of today's generation, okay? So the next few slides that I'll take you through is going to culminate in a video. Now this was a video that was built by us, okay? I'll not try and delve too much into what the video is going to be about. I'll just build you up towards the video and then hope that you can make the best of that video. So, here we go. Okay. Now, most small and medium companies have been started by entrepreneurs. Yes? Now, today is also the day when I say day, I'm talking about this period of India's future. You have a whole lot of startups. Now, the beauty, has anybody here working with the startup? No. Okay. We have a few startups who are our customers. Okay. One of the things that I've learned from them is the company would have started by somebody who's pretty young and bright, okay? But each and every member of the team is himself like an entrepreneur. So, what makes an entrepreneur tick? Basically, they are people who have the ability to figure out resources from everything they see around them and move it towards a zone where they believe it can yield more, okay? For them, change is very normal and healthy. You will not see them talk about change as something great. And basically they treat this role of being an entrepreneur as a duty. It's like something very religious. Now, basically they don't assume that they are seeing opportunities. It comes very naturally to them because number one, they recognize opportunities. And when they don't find an opportunity, they find a way to figure out to create one. Once that is done, they analyze it for practicality and they are always thinking small. They are going in small little steps, okay? And all of those small steps is towards something big. And they very well understand that while you're on this journey, you need to keep yourself open for a change in perception. Now, a whole lot of these reflections are not mine. This is precisely what I managed to tell when I was talking to Varakumar, who's the founder of Econ, okay? So that's what I'm trying to capture as an and I felt very, very useful to everybody in today's generation. And of course, passion. And just passion alone doesn't make it happen. They assume that they care about every single thing that they do and there's a whole lot of belief and sweat. Now, we talked about entrepreneur, we talked about innovation, yes? Now comes the leadership aspect of it. So basically, these are people with great energy. I mean, you must have heard of the 4 E's from Jack Welch. That's very, very well put. Great energy, great ability to energize. They always move with that ability to have a competitive edge in any situation, okay? And their ability to execute. So those are the 4 E's that you see. And this is sustained not just now. So from here on, I want to call your attention to the, and of course, passion. You can never ignore that. So, the true entrepreneur, can you recognize the two people on the picture there? Who are they? Okay, great. Then you'll recognize this. Is this a little representative? Yes? So when you combine both, you're talking of the emergence of a successful enterprise, okay? I told you, with embracing change, it's not just embracing change. With every change, you need to have the guts to pick on to things that are not of that age, okay? Now, overcoming every form of diversity. Now, what we mean by this is, what you're going to see is a video about a small little town. A small town where you have every form of Indianness. Diversity in terms of religion, diversity in terms of language, diversity in terms of political beliefs. caste systems. Can you imagine in India without a caste system? A lot of people are working very hard to take away the caste system. It's like, can you imagine Diwali where you just light a lamp? Yes? Honestly tell me, because see, I'm just a Christian. All my life, Diwali is the one day I've always looked forward to. Now when somebody says, okay, this Diwali we just light the lamp, suddenly you're telling yourself the fizzle is gone, right? India without all this is not India. But we need to find a way around. So, people who overcome every form of diversity, when I say overcome, they're not ignoring it. They use it as something that propels them forward. Now, external boosters, there's always times when people are saying, the government hasn't done this, or my neighbor is a problem. Everything external, everybody has problems with external factors. Now, one thing that we've seen with entrepreneurs is that they don't care too much about, or they don't depend too much on these external factors because they have no control over them. Very, very conscious about it. And of course, their ability to build fantastically agile teams. And in today's era, this word agile is extremely important because you're talking about times that are changing by the day. Your ability to keep swerving and moving with those times defines whether you're going to survive this moment. So these 5 points is what I'd like you to keep at the back of your mind as you watch this video.
There is a town which is called the hydraulics capital of India. This town also designs and makes critical parts of many Indian space missions, like the revered Mangalyaan. Racing cars that roam across the globe are designed, manufactured and exported from this town. A mega brand that manufactures and popularizes helmets is based here. You will also find a techpreneur who thinks of dedicating life to elevate downtrodden artisans through innovative tools, who is from this particular town. This town has never had any of the advantages that the most celebrated industrial hubs of India have had. And yet the entrepreneurs who have succeeded in such uncharted territories are from Belgaum. Yes, Belgaum of Karnataka, from southern India. And the one special partner in their amazing achievements has been SolidWorks.
The first version of SolidWorks that I installed on any PC in my organization was 2004.
We started using SolidWorks I think in 2002. We started using SolidWorks around 2008 or 2009.
I was introduced to SolidWorks by a friend of mine quite a few years ago.
2004 or something like that. Long time ago. I found SolidWorks because I was desperate for a 3D modeling program.
2002 we moved to SolidWorks and we have been using SolidWorks and the entire ecosystem.
From being early adopters of the SolidWorks design culture, these entrepreneurs of Belgaum have evolved along with it and have now made it a part of their enterprise DNA. And it has consistently helped them overcome their inherent disadvantages of not being from a very business-friendly location.
The essence of SolidWorks in terms of ease of use is always there, continuous in the journey. So that's one of the biggest reasons SolidWorks has been very, very successful across the globe. It gives a lot of freedom for the entrepreneurs. When the entrepreneurs are ideating something and coming up with their dreams, what is important are ideating something and coming up with their dreams, what is important with which they can work. And SolidWorks definitely gives that freedom of doing anything they want to do.
Ever since we mainstream design software, our whole changed. our product needed design to be done in 3D. It was always a hassle to redesign or make a small change to a design. You couldn't do that. I had to start from ground up again. And SolidWorks that way has a brilliant advantage. You want to change something, you can just go back and change it, and all the changes are accepted. Everything now is in detail. We go to every little microscopic detail with our design, and we make sure that everything comes together perfectly. It's a phenomenal software, very powerful.
If you're trying to work in plan and elevation, the compound surface, you don't know where it starts to intersect. I mean, there's a limit as to how much you can imagine. This SolidWorks software really allowed me to see where interference was happening. It allowed me to push the boundary, which is, I was always looking to push the boundary and do something which is a little more and different than what was expected. So I found it did everything I required.
The SolidWorks has reduced our design cycle times. Because of 3D modeling, the errors are minimum. So we actually see what we are going to build.
Created a very big R&D center. In fact, it was always been there, but then because of our exposure to international market, we are exporting, we are getting designs from them, we are creating our own designs, suiting to our heads, our climatic condition. We are as good as new to the world. I mean, any other competitors in the world, whether they are Europeans or Chinese or anybody, our quality designs are at par.
It has helped new engineers to visualize it much easier than what would have to visualize it. Over a period of time, we have migrated from being component manufacturers to product manufacturers. So we could see the assembly being done. We could see how the components could be meshed with each other, whether they were really falling from a 3D perspective. So that is where it really helped.
SolidWorks surely gives us an edge over making it traditional. Traditionally, it was very difficult to make a prototype and then try and then mass produce it.
In the design, in analysis, in manufacturing, to give that drawing to machine design, to make the coordinates, to get the coordinates in 2D and
3D machining. It has really helped us. This helped us a lot in reducing the errors, reducing the amount of time that is spent on doing the job. Laying out the job in the packing, because that also helped us. We could make things a little more complicated than what they used to do. Save money. Complicated in the sense, make the design complicated but manufacturing much easier.
Quality of products remain uncompromised at all costs for them. SolidWorks has been constantly listening to them. It has not just adapted to the changing scenario, but has led the change itself. Being innovative and competitive on a global platform is where SolidWorks has enabled them the most. And this is something that has made this partnership a truly formidable one.
So we always believe that innovators, creators, or even entrepreneurs, they have to focus on their product and how do we bring this product into reality, rather than spending time on how to master the tool in creating that one. In the last 10 years, we've come a long way in terms of putting SolidWorks in every industry, be it a small industry or medium size or a large enterprise. They're so passionate about SolidWorks. So this one thing you can find across the community of SolidWorks. SolidWorks was the first 3D experience. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I take my hat off to them. They've done a really good job, and I'm a fan of SolidWorks. There's no two ways about it.
I don't think there is a software which is as good as SolidWorks in bringing all these aspects of engineering together. That's the greatest thing that SolidWorks design team has done.
I would like to thank them even for not just visualize the machine component, to visualize even the raw material, especially for casting. So we do a lot of aluminum work. So especially to design how the aluminum would look like, how to do the die and all. So it has been really helpful.
We really like to thank SolidWorks because they generated so many engineers who know SolidWorks. We need not teach them right from beginning what it is. That's the biggest advantage of it.
It plays a very great role, I can say. The reason is simple. Making these drawings or making the models ready before they are actually ready, it saves a lot of time, cost and effort.
I behind SolidWorks because they have become the de facto 3D software on desktops. Okay, which was otherwise extremely expensive stuff which you could get on workstations, which only big companies could afford that. SolidWorks actually came onto a desktop, and it allowed me to speak to bigger clients with confidence. Otherwise, I was always on the back foot.
Probably we will not, even if we existed, we will not have been at the level that we are today. So it's thanks to SolidWorks that we are here today, and we are innovating and doing stuff from a small place such as Belgaum.
No matter which part of the world they are from, entrepreneurs are dreamers. Their vision and tenacity are key reasons for their success. Their self-belief and their passion towards their enterprise always stand out. And SolidWorks has been a proud partner of such entrepreneurs in designing their dreams and achieving their ambitions.
One more reason this is very close to our heart is, when Beacon first started 20 years ago, you are not going to believe it. We had the maximum number of installations of SolidWorks in this small little town. Today we have in excess of almost about 100 customers in that city of Belgaum. How many of you are familiar with Belgaum here? Anybody? You will understand what I'm saying. It's a small, cozy, beautiful town, but you would not expect this kind of emergency. For example, take a look at this next slide. This was one of the people who you saw on the video, right? This is just a picture that we took outside factory. You have the name. Not. Which one? You see the line below it says, completes 25 years of corruption-free business. Is this something that you see often? Believe me, they are very, very, very proud about it. So the passion with which they've come up to this stage, we are very proud to have associated with them. That company, Polyhydron, almost has about 25 licenses of SolidWorks. They've grown up with us, literally. So this is a story I thought we should share with you, not just to those of you who are entrepreneurs in this room. It's time we started thinking of all the traits that build these people up. That is what is required for us to boost our sector exactly the same way the IT sector was boosted 20 years ago. Thank you very much for now.
Thanks a lot, Mr. JJ. And now it's time that we announce the results for the Twitter poll contest, question number 2. Mr. Anirudh, I would request you to kindly join us back on stage to present the prize. A very warm welcome to you once again. Well, so the name of the winner for Twitter question number 2 is
Mr. Yogesh Navle. Mr. Yogesh.
There you are. A hearty congratulations to you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Mr. Anirudh, for joining us back on stage. Alright, well, I'm sure this is the most interesting moment in between the sessions. But if you really want to enjoy more, keep tweeting, keep posting your feedbacks on Twitter. I'm sure by now you all are on Twitter. Yes or no? Yes. Yes or no? Yes. Who are yet not on Twitter? Nobody wants to answer. Even if they are not, they don't want to answer. Oh, okay. I hope you all are having a great time. With this, I would like to announce and introduce the next session. The next session, before that, this reminds me that wouldn't you like to know about the next question on Twitter? Yes? Question number 3. Okay. Alright. There the question is. You all can take a look at it on your own respective accounts. So we will be announcing the results after the session, the next session that will be conducted. Okay, alright. So the topic for the next session is Solid Plant Comprehensive Manager ABAC Solid Plant AG. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Bronze on stage. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tom Bronze. I am with SolidPlant. SolidPlant is a company based in Amsterdam. I'm also from Amsterdam, so that makes me Dutch. And sometimes the people of the world will call this country Holland, so it's very confusing already. Let me say. Okay, so to make it even more confusing, I haven't been in Amsterdam for the last 2 years. So actually, I'm based in Bangkok, which is our regional office, to accommodate our Asian customers better. I flew in here 2 days ago from Bangkok. I had to change the plane in Delhi. At least it said Delhi on my ticket, but I wasn't really sure because when I looked outside from the plane, all I could see was brown smoke and dust. You know, it's amazing. They say that one day in Delhi is now like 50 cigarettes that you smoke. So I am really happy we're not doing this event in Delhi. There you go. All right, first of all, let me thank Mr. Joseph and everyone at Beacon for organizing this event and letting SolidPlant be part of it. Actually, we were here last year too. We gave our introduction presentation. Was it anyone here who was here last year and saw us? Yeah, I see some people are. Very good, very good. All right, for those of you who haven't ever heard of SolidPlant before, let me show you a quick introduction about what we do. This button, I guess. Just let me use it. There we go. I can use it. That's fine. Thanks. The SolidPlant is a comprehensive plant design solution on top of SolidWorks. We are an add-on onto SolidWorks, and as a result, we are a certified solution partner for SolidWorks. So what do? We have two products, a P&ID, which is 2D schematics for piping and instrumentation, and we have a 3D solution which is used for all the modeling of the piping, equipment, and structures. So the 3D solution is available for every version of SolidWorks, either standard, professional, or premium, that doesn't matter at all. And our SolidPlant P&ID solution can even be used without SolidWorks. Okay, so the workflow usually starts with the P&ID. Like I said, it's a 2D solution for piping and instrumentation. From there we can synchronize that data, so all your line lists, your equipment lists, your valve lists, all the lists that relate to the piping can be synchronized into SolidPlant 3D. SolidPlant 3D itself is based on a database which allows for a piping specification to be picked or created. Now what this means is that whenever you are building your pipes, which is the main purpose of our software, is that every part in your line is actually a representation of a real part, or actual real life part. So we have 95% of all the component manufacturers' catalogs inside the plant, inside the software. So everything you build is real. It's not just a model. It has all the data behind it that you need to send to any kind of relevant purchase department or any outside purchases for the piping components. It's all real. So to accommodate the most automated piping features in SolidPlant, we have a very, very easy to use structural module, or steel structures, and we have many typical equipments, pumps and vessels, tanks, and everything that is related into for your routing is there already. And we also have output documents, which is very important in plant design, especially isometric drawings. We have an industry standard isometrics called Isogen, which is now the industry standard. It's already there. You know, everything is included. You don't have to buy any separate module. It's already there. Next to that, we have automatic generation of your general arrangement drawing and bill of material. What's very important is all these drawings are just generated automatically, which will save you a lot of time. Okay, so Next, I'm going to show you a video that will show this in practice. There we go. Phases, P&ID, and then that was to the schematics. It's basically the birth ground of every piping project. Let me show you this feature. We have a feature called block assembly. If you are a piping designer, if you have typical assemblies like this one, that will be in your project over and over again. So what you need in a solution, seems to be playing. Anyway, whenever you have a solution, an assembly made like this, you can simply copy this assembly into the database and it will be saved. It will be saved for all eternity to use. So whenever you have the same assembly necessary in your drawing, you can just open the database file. Now first it's saving it first. Okay, so you select your assembly, then it will be saved into the database as a block. And whenever you need to replace this assembly in your drawing, you can easily access the file and put this assembly in your drawing again. And not even this drawing, only also if you have a new drawing, the block will even be there for new drawings as well. So this is a great way to save time if you have a lot of typical assemblies like this. You can see tags are also copied with it. Another great thing in improving your drawing is whenever you have certain components in your drawing that not every member of the design team has knowledge about. For example, this pump, not everyone knows what it is. So it's okay, it's not necessary for everyone to know, but if you want everyone to know, you can easily attach supporting objects to it. So in this case, we'll attach a JPEG file already, so the text of this one. So whenever someone needs to know about this pump, you can easily open these files and see what it is. It's just a great way to customize your drawing a bit and make it more clear for everyone. You can attach any kind. Okay, that was a bit about P&D. Now anyone who has used SolidWorks will find it very easy to start with this. It's just basic SolidWorks commands. First we're going to build a 3D grid. So we add the dimensions in the grid. As you can see, there are certain standards. ANSI standard right here is the international standard for steel structures. We're going to have Indian structures as well. So everything you see is supported by the international and top standards. So after this, we can turn all our segments of this grid into 3D beams and columns. And then we can start the real fun part. This is what makes me excited, is whenever you want to add anything like a stair, a couple of platforms or hand railings or whatever kind of part of the structure, we can just see there's still a lot of variables to make these stairs or platforms. See, so you can make it in any way that you want it to be. But the fastest part about it is that you just have to draw a single line. We offer you a lot of ways to make it in sketch lines. Anyone at the hand railing, of course, see? So there's no need to draw all these kinds of things by yourself. It's just a template accessed by, like I said, a single sketch line. Let me emphasize single sketch line. I really like to say it. And there you go. So guess what it's going to be, huh? Look at it. This has maybe 100 components to this pipe bridge, which is just a single sketch line. And here's going a conveyor belt. So I think it's a great little equipment for plant design. Is here to enter all your variables, and from there you can assign your tags. Now, all these tags are actually coming from our P&ID solution. You know, we can synchronize the data from our P&ID into 3D. So all the data for these tags and nozzles is already there. So all you have to do is just select them from your list and assign them to this pump. The data from your PID will stay the same in your 3D solution without having to enter all the data again and again. It's already there. So in this case, if your equipment doesn't have any nozzles yet, it's very easy to just put them on there yourself. Okay, now one of the great things about Solid Plant is that it has SolidWorks as its base platform. So that means that if there's an equipment that's not yet part of Solid Plant, you can import anything that you have designed in SolidWorks and bring it into Solid Plant. So this kind of equipment is designed in SolidWorks. So after we import it, we can assign again all the data for the tags, for all the nozzles, and make it into an intelligent part in the drawing. So placing of these equipments is just drag and drop. Very easy. There, okay. Let's fast forward. We've placed all the equipment in the drawing. So now it's time for the most exciting part of our software, I think, is the routing. Now we offer you lots of ways for automatic generation of the piping, and this feature is actually the most unique one. I don't think any other plant design solution offers this feature. It's a feature that allows you to generate preview lines of all the lines in your project in just one go. So here you go. This data is again coming from our P&ID. It's all the line list. It's all the lines in our project. And as I was talking, the preview lines are already being generated. So you can see the yellow dashed lines. They're already being generated for all these lines. So now we can specify one of these lines and modify it a bit. Now what we can do, we have 8 alternatives for every line. So you can just click and see how it goes. And even if you don't want one that we suggest, you can always modify it yourself. We just drag this line a bit forward, so we can have some room. So we're going to interfere with upstairs there. So even within this function, you can exit the function and use the sketch mode to draw a little of secondary pipe to this one. So this was not part of the line list piping that we got from our PID. This is what we designed now here in the 3D. Okay. So we can apply all that process for every line. So we can either modify it by ourselves or choose the default settings. So whenever we are satisfied with the position of our preview line, we are going to make it into a 3D model. But before we do that, I'm going to assign some specifications. So like I said, we have 95% of all the components catalogs already there. So every part in this line, elbows, reducers, gaskets, and bolts, all are going to be specified by the specification that you choose. So this is all real parts. Right? You can make a list of all these parts, send it to your purchase department, and they will know exactly what to buy. So that's the good thing. So as you can see now here, the 3D model is generated. It has realistic looking components for each part of the line. So besides that, it's a good looking model. It also has all the data behind it that you need for a well-running project. Okay, so we're going to apply the same process again for the other pipes in this project. Okay, yeah, you can already see that something might cause a little problem there. There's a big tank over there that has now a piece of pipe going through it. And of course, we don't want that. Okay, so everything Everything else looks good. We don't have any interference except for this one. So another solution, when you want to move something, it might get detached from your equipment and you have to draw the whole line again, which is not what we want to do. So we can just simply move this equipment and we can rebuild the position of our line and it will get reattached to it without any loss of data. So there you go. Okay, the last phase is phase number 4. So SolidPlan 3D will give you access to all the documentation related to your project. One of those is the bill of material for the steel structure. This one is also generated automatically, and it will be exported into an Excel format file. So there's no need to enter all this data by yourself. The program will do that for you, and you can save it in any folder that you want. And it will look like this, you see. All the structural members are there, including all the details of size, also weight. So it's very important to have this document available fast. Another one is the isometric drawings, perhaps the most important document in plan design. We have discovered, like I said before, by Alias. Alias is the engine for this drawing. For this isometric. It's called IsoGen. So there, it's generated within moments. So it will have all your information about this segment of pipe right there. All the dimensions, all the tag numbers, everything is there. And beside this, at the same time, it will help create a so-called PCF file, which can be imported into stress analysis software, which is also very important to have. Okay, the last document I wanted to show you is the automatic general arrangement drawing. So again, this one is automated generation. What we do first here is we're adding sheets for every separate floor of our structure. As you saw, we have 4 floors of it. Each one of them has a part of equipment and piping attached to it. So when we start the drawing, it will be generated. So you can see this is the ground floor with all our pumps there and the tank. And it's second floor. So you see all the annotations are there. Third floor. So with just one go, we have generated 4 drawings with no effort at all. Okay, so that was the video. I have something to show you, which is not new, but is more of a recap of what you just saw. Okay. So why us? You know, everyone wants to know whenever they're going to buy new software, so what's it going to do for me? What are the benefits? Now, I already showed you some of it. Let me rephrase that. So, RPA, I'll start with that one. We will save a lot of time with the solution. It has a simple user interface that is actually the same as all other existing 2D CAD solutions. So, we don't want to introduce a software that is so hard to learn. We wanted it to be easy, so within days, if you have prior experience with 2D CAD solutions, you'll find it very easy to learn this and use it. It has all the natural commands that the 2D solution will have. There is shorthand to learn. Automatic tagging, so other 2D CAD solutions might not have automatic tagging. We do, so it will be a great way to save time there. Now, this one you already saw, copy assemblies, and perhaps the most easy feature to save time. And we already have a lot of symbols already covered, so chances are very big you don't have to draw any customized symbols yourself. This will already be there. Okay, mistakes, we don't like mistakes, no one likes it, so we focus a lot on reducing those. We have intelligent lights and components, which means that whenever you change data between, so for instance, we have a loader which is bigger than another part of the line. So in between there will be a reducer. So whenever we change data off these two lines, the reducer will automatically reflect those changes. So if we make the other part bigger than the old one, the reducer will automatically flip. So it's very important that you don't have to worry about that thing. Okay, like you saw connectivity with drawing sheets, so you don't have to worry about losing connectivity with separate drawings. They will be connected and bidirectional with our 3D solution. So, like I said, you can synchronize all the data from our PLA solution into the 3D, but also you can do the same thing backwards. So whenever you draw a new line into the 3D, like you saw, the PNID will automatically notice that. So whenever you open your PNID again, you will get a message that says, hey, you've added a new line in 3D. Are you going to update it in PNID too? I would do so. Customization. You know, you're going to have some customers who want it their way. I want it this color, I want it that size. So whatever you get as a requirement, we can make it happen for you. And import any customized symbols that you made into any project. And like you saw, we can attach documents, so it would be great for this too. Okay, our 3D, we're going to focus on the same things, save time, reduce mistakes, and customize. So we have the same user interface as SolidWorks, which is, well, of course, very easy for all who already know SolidWorks. We are fully integrated with SolidWorks. We have the same kind of commands, kind of interface. So it will take you maybe a few days to learn the plan. SolidPlan 3D if you already have your experience with SolidWorks. Now, you saw this one, automated piping with the multi-root navigator. You don't have to draw every single line yourself. You can generate those lines all at the same time. I mean, how much faster can you do it, right? Okay. And of course, there's 3D structures like you saw. Single sketch line, template, boom, it's there. It's so fast. And of course, already existing templates and import from SolidWorks. Now, this is another automatic generation. So automatic. You know, we might get a bit worried that we get too lazy. Everything is automatic. Of course, you have to pay attention yourself in the end, but we'll try to make it very easy for you. Yes, those are the documents. Okay. So the piping specification is also very accurate. We make sure that all these components are accurate, representing real-life parts. So you won't be worried about sending the wrong information to your purchasing department. It's already there. It's all correct. Okay. Automated drawings, no manual input, no data entry. We'll let the program just do it for you. And you saw all the templates can be changed in height, size, dimensions, and everything to make it the way that you want. Okay, so we have already a fair sized number of international clients. Also in India already, thanks to Beacon, we can accomplish that. Very grateful for that. So more of those. All right. That's it for me. I want to thank you very much for your attention today. If you have any questions, we have a booth outside. Anyone at the Beacon office will know about SolidPlan, so you can always grab the shirt and say, hey, I want to know about this, tell me more. Also our website, the Beacon website, will tell you everything you want to know. All right. Again, thank you very much, and enjoy today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bronze. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, before we introduce you all to the next session, it's now time to announce the name of the winner of Twitter poll contest question number 3. But before that, I would like to invite Mr. Harshad, Regional Manager Recon, on stage to kindly present the prize. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome him on stage. Very warm welcome to you, Mr. Harshad. So the winner for question number 3 is
Mr. Adarsh Verma.
A hearty congratulations to you, Adarsh. So we have tech savvies over here as well. Congratulations, everybody. Please put your hands together for him. Adarsh once again. Now it's time to take a look on question number 4. That's the question number 4. Quickly get on your devices. See who gets the first. Alright. Okay, well, thank you so much. Well, now I would be introducing you all to the next session. The topic for the next session is customer case study, and this session will be conducted by our next presenter, Mr. Ketan Shah, Director, Industrial Syndicate. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome him on stage. Very warm welcome to you, sir.
Very good afternoon, everyone. I know it's very difficult to remain glued to the seats at this hour of the day, but I assure you one thing, that I'll be very crisp and try to finish my session as fast as possible. First of all, I'm really delighted to be here on this innovation day of the Dassault system. And to present my company INNC, along with the experiences that we have shared with Beacon SolidWorks as a team. So basically, we are INNC. The name of our company is Industrial Engineering Syndicate, and our brand name is INNC. We specialize in ingression-proof switches, so robust design solutions for automotive tagline. Our mission is exceed automotive customers' expectation by providing zero defect products on time at competitive price to achieve customer delight. Now today morning, Mr. Vishal Fatke and Mr. JJ both explained to us about the expectations of the customer. There are QCD expectations: quality, cost, delivery. Along with that, our customers are always looking at the innovative products to be introduced from our side, and that too, it should come thick and fast, So, looking at all these expectations from the customers, at some point in time we thought we introduced CAD in our organization around 10 years back. I would just give you a small presentation of our company. We were founded in 1967. We deal with automotive, electrical and electronic components. We cater to, as you know, in automotive we have different sectors. So we mainly cater to off-road vehicles, all-moving equipments, heavy commercial vehicles and multi-utility vehicles. Our product line in electrical category is fascia switches, combination switches, rocker, rotary, push buttons and push-push and push-pull switches. We specialize in ignition cum starter switches, steering mounted combination switches, battery kill switches, and in terms of electronic, electromechanical sensors, gearbox safety switches is our main product line. As far as electronics is concerned, we have just recently got into electronics, maybe around 2 years back. So we are into electronic sensors, flashes, USB chargers, headlamp levelers and operator position safety modules. This is the pictorial presentation of our product line. You can see different categories of switches that I just mentioned a while ago. Our main forte is building robust and ingression-proof products meeting IP standards. By IP, what we mean is ingression-proofness to perform in very harsh environments. As you know, the off-road vehicles are supposed to, to actually encounter, and they are supposed to withstand that. So we specialize in that. We have a comprehensive infrastructure. We are ISO TS 16949 certified. We have a design center with CAD facilities, manufacturing with modular automation. Today morning again, Mr. Fatke and JJ, they both discussed about Industry 4.0. So I also very strongly feel that it's time that the small scale industries also gear up for automation in their own organizations. Tool making, in-house tool making we have, and we have a complete focus on quality, and we have to achieve that. We have a reliability test lab which consists of all the environmental test equipments and the endurance test equipments. This is the list of our esteemed customers. There are big names like John Deere, Mahindra & Mahindra, Tractors and Farm Equipments, International Tractors, Tata Motors in different categories. In tractor segment, these are the names what I mentioned. In light commercial vehicles, we have Mahindra, SML, Isuzu. Lab is concerned, we have got the environmental test chambers which can go from -40 to plus 150 degrees centigrade with humidity, and we have some endurance test equipment, PLC based endurance test equipments as well. Now, we have been using the 3D CAD software in our organization for last 10 years. We had an association with SolidWorks. It took place somewhere in 2016, primarily because of the reasons now I'm mentioning. First of all, we found SolidWorks to be a user-friendly software. Number two is this scalability. Like we had the tool making facilities in-house. We have the reliability test facilities in-house. So it was very imperative for us to have a software which could, if not now, but maybe down the line, 5 years, 7 years, we should have a relationship with the software which can take care of all these aspects in a comprehensive way. So we saw this potential in SolidWorks, and that was the reason why we opted for it. We have close to around 50 vendors. We're dealing with 2,500 parts, and there are different departments, and as I said, the 50 vendors are involved, who are in relation with this large part bank. So to handle this, just to have the better revision control and all that, we thought of going for ePDM. So we studied SolidWorks ePDM, which was also found to be quite good enough to have a better control over the revisions. As of now, we are using mold design software, but it doesn't seem to be very effective. So we are exploring to use SolidWorks, and in future we'll try to look for simulation and CAE analysis as well. Another reason was software popularity among user fraternity. One of my friends, I think he mentioned that there are so many SolidWorks knowers in the industry that we don't have to teach the new guy who is shipping in. He already knows SolidWorks. So maybe a very productive tool. Now I've already mentioned about the reason why we went for PDM. So first of all, as I said, we have 50 suppliers, 2,500 parts. So to have the complete control, the distribution of the drawings to the suppliers was very important, because many times we became redundant. It was a huge cost to the company. That's the reason why we opted for ePDM, and it's under implementation phase right now. Seamless drawing, design, data approval process, centralized data storage and quick retrieval with very good search commands. So that the new user or a new designer who chips in, he doesn't repeat the mistakes again. So that would effectively be done through ePDM. Access control, and finally I think we are coming up with a new project monitoring tool also in 2018, which was also the need of the hour. So that's what we are looking at. I strongly feel implementation, online support, troubleshooting have been excellent so far. I would like to name Mr. Anirudh, Mr. Harshad, Mr. Rohit Magar. They have been quite instrumental in resolving all our queries, and that too in time. So I really appreciate their support so far, and expect that in future as well. I just got a call from Mr. Anirudh that the R&D team of SolidWorks would be visiting, and they would like to meet our engineers to enhance, to take the first-hand feedback from the clients who could, which would help them to improve their software in future. So this is a very good thing which I have observed. That we have used a few more software in the past, but this customer-centric approach was a great miss there. And in this growing India, I feel that they are trying to touch the roots in terms of getting this information. They are trying to touch the small scale industries, which is going to contribute a lot in future. So it's a very right approach what they are having as of now, and I wish all the very best to Beacon as well as SolidWorks for this. Finally, these are a few projects what we have done out of SolidWorks, and
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's thank Mr. Shah once again for the knowledgeable presentation that he shared along with us. Everybody, please put your hands together and let's thank him. I would like to now invite Mr. Vishal Farke, GSM Beacon on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, एक और बार थोड़ी जोरदार ताली तो welcome him back. Mr. Shah, hope you had a great time today.
Yeah, that's really nice.
On behalf of Beacon, we would like to felicitate you over here. Thank you so much for taking out your precious time and making it. I would request you both to kindly join in the center stage for a lovely picture. All right, everybody, please put your hands together and let's thank him. Mr. Shah. Okay, it's now time to get introduced to the next session. Please put your hands together to welcome him on stage, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'll be quicker than Ketan. I won't take too much of your time because I think we have one more session after this before we go for lunch. Okay, the name of our business is New Horizons Consulting Engineers LLP. We are about 10 years old in this business. We are purely an engineering services company. We cater to the oil and gas industry. Engineers and designers. We are based in Mumbai, in Vikrodi, very close to IIT. That's where our office is. Our suite of services, we are into mechanical engineering, piping, structural and finite element analysis. And on the mechanical side, it would be all fabricated equipment, storage tanks, process columns, special purpose machines. We would do piping, structural analysis, and of course we are using SolidWorks simulation for finite element. Typical project done by us. Over a period of time, we've gained a lot of competence in doing modular process systems. 19 meters. It had a bridge on top, a structural bridge, and on top of that bridge, there was an agitator mounted. The agitator had its shaft going all the way below. And inside the tank, if you notice, so that's kind of the description of this equipment. Now, what all we did on this, so device, the customer was very worried that resonance should not, first task was that the natural frequency baffles. So here we took help of SolidWorks simulation, the supports or the number of supports to ensure that there is enough gap or enough margin between the induced frequency and the frequency of the baffles. After that, we also were, the customer was also worried that apart from the baffles, the full equipment should not resonate. So we did the natural frequency calculations for the full equipment, where again SolidWorks simulation was the tool we used. And then of course, we did the complete analysis of the top. SolidWorks simulation helped us on that. So that kind of gives you a quick introduction on the way we have been using SolidWorks simulation. We've been using SolidWorks 3D for the last about 4-5 years. SolidWorks simulation, we've started using it about a year ago. And the best part is the smooth and seamless data transmission from SolidWorks 3D to SolidWorks simulation, the numerous options which can be attempted by making changes and modifications, the support we get from both in terms of this. So we were very skeptical that would it be the right choice in going in for SolidWorks simulation, and we are very happy with the decision we made. It's a pleasure to do business with Beacon, and that gives you the kind of the summary of the installation we have. We have 4 licenses of SolidWorks Standard and 1 license of Simulation Professional, and of course we do have the network module as well. That's about it. Thank you. Sure.
Oil and gas segment.
Sure.
How has your business changed from $100 to
And the simple reason for that is our customer profile, which had peaked to 40 and now 60 plus, has affected the big players. People who are doing smaller projects, let's say 10 million, I'm talking of installed cost of a project. People who are doing smaller projects, 10 million, 50 million, business is good. The other thing is oil prices have dropped, but gas is green. The gas business has been very green. So we've been fortunate that we've had a lot of business with customers who are associated with natural gas. Doom. It's all gloom and doom. I know that. Thank you.
So I would request you to kindly stay back with us, and I would now like to invite you, Mr. JJ, on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. JJ back on stage with us. We are very delighted that you made it for this customer case study session. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time that you on the stage. Mr. Nanadeep Singh, thank you so much, sir, for making it for this SolidWorks 2018 Launch Innovation Day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for allowing us to present.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Thank you, Mr. JJ. And now it's time that we announce the winners for Twitter poll contest question number 4. And to present this, I would like to invite Mr. Anuruddh, sir, back on stage. Okay, so I already have this prize. It's Amazon gift vouchers. Fantastic. I wish I was also participating. I could have got some vouchers for myself to do shopping towards the Christmas season. Okay. I've never been the first gentleman to join in this hall, I suppose, right? Hearty congratulations, and finally a happy winner now. Everybody, please put your hands together. Now we have to smile. Okay. Why awaits you, ladies and gentlemen? It is there right on the screen. Okay, if you all have noted it, it's now time to introduce the next session. So this is the last question for the Twitter poll contest. Let's see who makes from our gold partners HP and AMD. So from HP we have Mr. A very warm welcome to you, gentlemen.
Okay, I promise I'll make it very crisp. So first of all, a great thank you to SolidWorks and Beacon team up here for inviting us. Quickly, what are we celebrating today? What's one word which is buzzing around the entire hall? A lot of my pre-speakers and my co-speakers have already discussed about that. Whether you are in any industry, if you do things the way it is done today and expect results, success and continuity in the future, it's not going to happen. Those days are over. Okay, I mean, JJ sir was talking about companies, big giants. They were there then and there, but now sort of struggling, right? So that's one thing which we need to sort of part, or the basic hardware part come in. I'll give you an analogy. You are, I would assume, all of you would call yourself not IT managers, right? You're not into IT. You're into something more. You're into creative work. You're into designing. You're into conceptualization. Agreed? So if you're talking about that, the fundamental difference between conceptualization and IT is that you have a big idea. You've got a great software like SolidWorks, but you need to have a platform to make that idea from concept to design to product. In that, hardware, the so-called less glamorous part, pays a big price. And a great, I would say, it has a great impact in terms of your future, in terms of your company, your product, etc. So, as a company, this is on, sorry. Okay, so we have been number one in workstations for a very long time, and thank you for making us that way in whatever little form you have been. Some of you have been using our workstations, some not, some probably would be after probably seeing the presentation and maybe in your future endeavors. So, why is hardware important? The most important part to realize is that today, when you're talking about the random shift in software, you need to have a piece of hardware which, number one, can cope up with the software nuances which is there. Now in SolidWorks, people are using SolidWorks for a long time and understand that, I mean, if you are using a machine 3-4 years ago, the same machine, if you want to use SolidWorks 2018, good luck to you guys. You know, that's how it is. That's why technology is something which is changing. If you're not changing at the pace at which software is changing, you'll be left behind. You will not be able to use the resources and the developments which SolidWorks is making in the investment in software. Okay, so those little features which are important. So we just talk about that. So basic fundamental of HP, we definitely drive performance. That's a given. We also have a great emphasis on reliability, because if you have a product and you're using these in your day-to-day experience, the difference between workstation and desktop is that it's a 24x7x365 product. Okay, it works all the time, and in order to make you successful, we at the back end do some innovation. So what do we do? Few things, small changes, you know, in the way we design products. All of you have heard of SATA drives, everybody's talking about SSD drives. So there's something new which is coming in. It's already there from us. It's called Turbo Drive. I don't want to get into the technology, but it will give you 4 times the speed at which you can do the input-output compared to your standard SSDs. Okay? So do contemplate that when you're making your next investment decision. All right? And these are available in all our workstations, including our mobile form factors as well. Now, one challenge which a lot of customers have come up and said that, you know, Z Turbo Drive has got a limitation, it's only up to 1 terabyte. What happens if I need more? Okay, so we've got this technology where you can have 4 of these modules in one PCI slot, and it goes into your motherboard, so it conserves space at the same time gives you performance. Okay, everybody, you know, in today's world realizes that we don't want bulky machines, right? We want power, but at the same time we want convergence. We want smaller devices, right? Okay, so that's where we sort of are heading into. How many of you would agree that the biggest challenge, especially in a city like Bombay where space is a constraint, and you're having, you know, let's say an environment where you have, let's say, 10 designers sitting together in a room, and you're using workstations, you will have a lot of power being used, so there'll be heat generated, there'll be noise. Is that a common thing that happens? So that hinders the productivity. So we have been there at the forefront. We already were the first to introduce liquid cooling. Now we've gone one step ahead and we've gone into paper cooling. Okay. This is something which is, I mean, you'd say, okay, so what? How does it matter? These are the small things which matter. These are the innovations which, at the end of the day, as an end user, you can get those, you know, acceleration in terms of your performance. Okay. So just a little analogy as to what happened and where we are right now. So noise and acoustics and thermal are something very important which HP focuses on. I mean, we've got a little innovation. I mean, I'll talk about that in a while, and you can see that in the stand as well. So, okay, one very piece of innovation which we've already had, and I want to just spend 1 minute on that is, today, how many of you believe that you can work alone? Those days are over. We are at the age of convergence, we are at the age of collaboration, I mean, you collaborate with your peers, you collaborate with your internal people, you collaborate with your customers, you collaborate with your consultants, and that's how you sort of arrive at a decision, right? Imagine in this state that you're working on a design, you have a workstation, you have an HP workstation in your office, and you are in the airport, you don't want to carry a very heavy, bulky machine, because obviously, everybody wants to have a thin and light product as a personal consumption device. So we give you the capability that you can use the power of the workstation which is there in your lab or in your office, and while you are using any device, it could be, it's brand agnostic, it could be HP, it could be non-HP, it could be a tablet, it could be an Apple device, it could be anything. As long as you are within your own network, you have internet connectivity, you can access the power of the workstation which is there in your office and get things done. And you can also collaborate with multiple people within the same network. Okay? Just, you possibly time, I don't want to get into details, but the advantage is your decision-making process is faster. Today you want to say, okay, I want to make this change. You don't have to wait for somebody to come and tell you, okay, do that. Or you don't have to transfer the file, because that's again intellectual property for you, right? I mean, you can't have a design going on and off. And people would say, okay, I can use TeamViewer, but TeamViewer will never be able to handle 3D models, okay? Because the capabilities are not there. So this is one part which we sort of collaborate on and have this innovation. The next part which we do is, remember I said you guys are not IT, administrators, or you guys are not supposed to be IT professionals, you're design professionals. When you install SolidWorks, let's say 2018 in your machine, you buy an HP workstation. You, as an end user, how do you know which driver to load? What should be the system setting? What should be the BIOS setting? What should be other parameters? I mean, that's not the business. You focus on your core competency and leave the rest to us. That's what we do in the back end. It's like, when you're going to the office in the morning and you're driving a car in Mumbai, you're not bothered about worrying about the roads, worrying about whether you're, touching some other car or your tire falls in a pothole. There's somebody there sitting in your engine, controlling everything, and you have a leisurely drive, from your home to your office. That's what we do at the back end for you. These are simple things which are unique to HP and which helps you as a customer make maximum mileage out of your investments. Okay? So, why are we talking about this association between SolidWorks, HP, AMD? Why is it so important? Because when you buy a certified piece of hardware, what do you mean by certification? Certification means that when you buy a product from HP along with an AMD card and SolidWorks, from day one, you are assured that your overall ecosystem works. Okay? If you have any problem in whether hardware or software, it's a responsibility of all three stakeholders to help you. At the same time, in the R&D lab of SolidWorks and AMD and HP, we already have this 18-month prior notice and we start developing the whole ecosystem. Okay, we develop the drivers, we develop BIOS, we do all whatever is necessary for you guys to be productive. This is something which differentiates a workstation and a certified hardware from a normal desktop. Okay? So this is just a quick thing. I don't want to delve into that. Just a pictorial representation of that. So a lot of people will come and tell me, okay, all that is great. I'm not an IT user myself. How do I know which product to use? So we've got a very interesting tool in our website. You just go into normal hp.com website and choose this, and you can talk about all permutations and combinations of SolidWorks. You will get good, better, best, mini, mobile form factor, all solutions available. Okay, so in case you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer. So the good part or the bad part is that things keep always changing. I know it's a cliched statement, change is the only constant, but that's something which is really true, and that's true for all industries, whether it's software, hardware, or even your industry. Okay. So I'll just leave this forum with one piece of innovation. Give me a minute. Can we have the volume on, please? Sound on, please. So if you ever thought that workstations were big, ugly devices, change your mind. So we have that on display. So people, during the lunchtime or whenever you have time, you can go ahead and look at it. Okay? So I just want to sort of have one more slide to show. Give me a minute, please. This is going to be my final slide. Okay. Just to give you an understanding, we are the official computer for NASA. The reason I want showing this is, look at reliability. I mean, I know an engineer or somebody who wants to go and repair something would love to go and do something and fix our mobile workstations in space. But that's obviously not a viable option. So the same products which we are giving to you is the same standard, the same quality is being used by NASA. While we speak, 120 mobile workstations are orbiting around space. Okay? And the sample which is there is already there on display, so you can go and have a look. So I will just leave it with one thought before I pass it on to my colleague Manmeet. We are here undergoing a transformation in terms of how we work, whether it's workplace, whether it's work style or work group. So if you are going to talk about using one conventional approach and doing the same thing all the time, I think time is not so far away, whether you probably have to jump into another business or you'll say, okay, fine, let me get out of it and start something else. So the mantra is be innovative. Obviously that's something which you guys are because you're designers. Choose the right product, get into the ecosystem and ensure that you are ahead, whatever manner you can, whether it's in terms of creating a few ISPs or USPs which are there, and then move forward. We have got a whole lot of products, right from mobile, all-in-ones, desktop form factors. I don't want to talk about that, you can go into our website. The point I want to highlight is that please buy certified hardware if you want performance. Manmeet, all yours.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Kaushik. Over to you, Mr. Manmeet. Thank you.
Good afternoon, guys. First of all, thank you very much to the European team and the SolidWorks team for putting together such a fantastic event. And I'm a person who's been cursed with the maximum right now because I'm also feeling hungry. You guys are also feeling hungry, and I know सबसे ज़्यादा गालियाँ मुझे पड़ रही कि ये कहाँ से आ रही है अभी. So guys, please trust me that I'm not going to take more than 3 to 5 minutes maximum. That time, not more than that. So I have two questions. Just first question. I have one question. How many of you have seen actually a movie called Bahubali? Obviously, everybody might have heard of it. But how many of you have actually seen that movie? A lot of you, right? So what's the engine which has been driving that VFX effects and all those things which are going on in that movie? It's AMD. The whole graphics which is there in that movie, part 1, part 2, been driven by AMD, and we are pretty much proud about having that association with Bahubali and delivering that kind of performance. And why do we come into the picture when we are discussing about SolidWorks? So whatever you do, whatever you design, it needs to be displayed in a correct manner, and that is where a graphic thing comes into the picture, right? That's what AMD does. And AMD has been fortunate to be a company which is present on the CPUs, the CPU, the computer processor, as well as the graphics side. There is no other company in the industry which provides those solutions. So my discussion is going to be pretty straightforward and crisp today. SolidWorks, in fact, AMD has graphic cards which are certified for SolidWorks suite of applications. You are seeing a word called as Radeon Pro, so that is our brand name for the professional graphics. Some of you might be familiar with the AMD graphics brand Fire Pro. That is one of our current brand names, which we are now moving to the brand called as Radeon Pro. So that is the kind of a transition which is happening within AMD. So that is something which we are adding with this. Now, is it only the hardware that we provide, or is there any additional ecosystem, or the way you design, we help in improving those solutions as well, or we change the way you can design your models as well? Trust me, I'm not going to go into the speeds and feeds of this model. So this is how basically some of you might not have even seen a graphic card. Workstation देखा होगा क्योंकि वो तो desk के side में रखी हुआ है. This is how graphic card looks like basically. You're just seeing 3 layers over here. One is essential, performance, and cutting edge. So for the guys who are using SolidWorks for CAD purpose, the essential series where we have graphic cards from 2GB to 4GB, which is there. Then for the simulation kind of applications, you have the performance series of graphic cards. I'm not going into the models of these cards. I hope it's readable from the backside, but I'm not going into the details of these models, like how many speeds and fixed it has. But that's how it can be categorized. In the top end are for the higher end data sets and higher end applications. One special card which I want to speak about is the last one. Again, I have a simple question for you guys. What's the storage that you have in your machine right now? How much? कितना GB का hard drive होता है? किसी को idea है? I know, I mean, detail नहीं पता होगा, but on top of 1 TB, 2 TB. You know, you're seeing this graphic card. It is a graphic card along with the storage. Now there are a lot of customers who have very large data sets who store their data on their hard drives. Because of the performance, the performance of the hard drive, the data opening time is too much sometimes. Okay, so how many? I mean, you guys might have faced an issue कि मैं data open करने के लिए लगाती हूँ, but यार वो data open होने में time लगता है. Charge किया था तब तक शायद open हो जाए. Those kind of problems can be solved by having such kind of solutions where you have a graphic card sitting next to a hard drive, both of them on the same board, and this can in fact improve the performance of opening up a data set drastically. So this is one of the very unique solutions from AMD which is not available with any of our competitors per se. So that is something which is very special about us in terms of the portfolio that we have. I would like to speak about 2 features what we have with our Radeon Pro series of graphics basically. One is a render plugin and another is a very special utility that we plugin again what we can offer to you guys. So basically you can have, AMD has come up with a render plugin which can be used with SolidWorks. That's called as Radeon Pro Renderer. Can be directly used within SolidWorks itself, and again we are not charging for anything in this. All the software technologies from AMD are open source. So again, this is an open source render plugin. Some of the speakers. Few of the highlights: it supports add-in. SolidWorks add-in file support is there. It supports graphic and computer, the CPU as well as graphic card board, so you can utilize the graphic card as well for rendering purpose. Animation support for that render plugin is also there, and there is no additional charge on the side for this render plugin which can come with the AMD graphic card. You can download it from AMD website as well. I'm just skipping through the slides in the interest of time because I have one of the very important points what I want to speak about, and this would be one of my last discussion points actually. How many of you have seen a 3D movie? So what kind of experience that you get? So suppose there is a rocket which is flying, you can actually see a rocket which is from in front of you, right? That's how basically you get an experience. And how we have been designing our products is like you get to see it either on the monitors, and now with the new technologies you can see it via 3D printer. That's how maximum you can feel before it goes into the production, right? How about we bringing a virtual reality kind of a solution to the SolidWorks data that you design? That can be done. So just to give you a perspective view of what I'm saying, this is a model which has been designed in SolidWorks, rendered using Pro Renderer, the render plugin which I spoke about just in the previous slide. That can be seen in a 3D environment. You can actually feel how that vehicle is looking in a 3D environment without having additional by utilizing their existing graphic card. Again, the plugin what I'm mentioning about, or the utility what I'm mentioning about, there is no additional charge or anything for that. That you can download today also from the website. So to put it in a nutshell, you are designing something which is really important, and to show it to your customers in a perspective view that how actually the model would be looking like. Say suppose somebody who's designing say this laptop or anything like this chair or large car model or something, they can utilize this virtual reality kind of technologies, and they can utilize AMD's graphic cards and these plugins what are there from AMD to actually see how the model looks like before it actually goes into the production or even to the 3D printer. And that is possible today with AMD's technology. So we are not only adding, or we are not providing only the graphic cards, but we would like to help you in terms of actually changing the way you actually present to your customers or you design the models or the way you interact with your data sets. That's what we intend to do. One of the critical point which I never mentioned along with throughout the slides is about the performance part of it. Performance is, if you are buying the right configuration, that is your birthright. I mean, if you are buying the right configuration for SolidWorks with a workstation, that's your right, correct? And that's what AMD ensures, that whatever graphic card, correct graphic card for your purpose that you're buying, you can get optimum performance with this, because we have been working very closely with SolidWorks as well to develop the drivers and to provide or improve the performance, and that we can ensure that whichever AMD graphic cards that you buy, that can ensure you the best performance and the best performance with your workstations. That is in a nutshell what I have. I have just 3 points what you guys, what I want you guys to just remember. First is the performance what AMD graphic cards can provide. We can ensure you that performance if you're buying a right configuration. Second is about the Radeon Pro renderer or render utility which can be used in SolidWorks. And the third one is the virtual reality style. How we can utilize the virtual reality, the 3D content consumption render cluster. That is another thing which we can offer with the AMD graphic cards. That is more or less to share to you guys. And I hope I have met my 5-minute deadline. And that's it from my side. We would be there at the booth during the lunch hour, during the break hour. We can interact. If you have any more questions, we can interact over there. Again, thank you very much for being so patient. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Manmeet. Thank you. Alright, well, so it's time for lunch, but just before that, a humble request to you all that please do visit the community booth outside. And post-lunch, we have 2 track sessions. First one would be the manufacturing track session, and the second one is the Mechatronics track session. So this entire conference hall will be divided into 2. So you have to decide where you want to go, which session you want to attend. But whenever you shift, please ensure that you take your belongings along with you. Alright, इसके साथ अपने बुक को और कंट्रोल कीजिए मत. We are very sorry for the delay of lunch time. Thank you so much for your patience. See you all after lunch. 45 minutes is the time because we are already delayed. Okay, thank you.
काय केलं माहिती आहे का आवडते त्या हे पण बेकॉनवाल्यांनी
हाँ
उतरली बॅटरी म्हणून मी ऑफ नाही करत LCD बंद करून ठेवायचा फक्त ऑन ही बॅटरी तर लय डेंजर आहे आता चार्ज व्हायला 12 तासाच्या वर राहते आणि आता ती दोन्हीची वापर नाही काढलं वाटतं त्याने तो कुठे त्याला नाही बघितलं आठवण बिटवण याची काय केलं मला आठवण आली
the loads, the boundary conditions, and the result which we will be getting is the stresses, displacements.
So yet another thing here is now we have an easy way where you can print this assembly structure. Okay. So I'm just going to show you one of the preview, and you can have this complete assembly structure print out handy. So that's one of the another enhancement this release brings into you. Okay. So essential design tools. Okay. So it's essential functionality to speed up the design process. So that's how this particular pillar of engineering inside this 2018 release has been built upon. Okay. So we are going to